Hello, Internet. Hi, we are back for some more virtual tabletop role playing. So here we are back to the, I guess, other side of our campaign as it stands now. This is our returns and retrievals track or arc or whatever you want to call it. Um, just before we start, want to do a quick shout out to our World Anvil page. There's a link up in the from the tabletop tab on our website. I'm adding stuff in here as quickly as I can, but there's lots of information on races and beasts and maps and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So if you want to check out things like that, that is the place to go. Um, so let's go ahead and get underway. Why don't we all introduce ourselves in order of appearance? Don't mind Orn over here. He forgot to log out of Roll20 apparently. um,
Typical.
so Matthos, say hello.
Hi, I
For what?
play the character Matthos.
Fantastic. And what's your
He's
game?
a he's a captain of the seas and the
What's
skies
Sky
now.
Seas? And what's your gamer tag?
Hawkeye 4124
Fantastic. And Fawyt?
or 124.
Numbers are gross.
Yeah, this is Guy Fox 88. I play Fawyt. She's essentially a very confused political assassin, let's say.
Great. And Zahida.
I'm your local N7. I play Zahida. And she's kind of the heavy hitter, but also a bit of a mother hen. So
Right, and I am the Wraith, and I will be GMing and hosting, I guess. I don't know. Since we kind of jumped into the deep end here as far as getting these streams going, I did want to take a second to sort of go through some more of our characters. We did a little bit with our other session, the other arc there with Brack and Orange. So let's go down here and take a look at our other player characters. So let's start. I have Zahida first here. So why don't we go through your we'll go through the look, alignment, and bonds. So for look, I have here eager eyes, braided hair, tanned skin, and built body. So give us a picture of what your image of Zahida looks like.
yeah, so she's got pretty dark skin, like most of the people of her race, the Hanalines. She has this sort of bright, like gold blonde hair, and her eyes are pretty much the same color. She wears a lot of like sandblasted jewelry so as not to catch the light when they're not that we do sneaky things often, but you know, just in case. And yeah,
Speak
as
for
I said,
yourself.
she's a heavy hitter, so yeah, she's pretty muscular and just ready to hit some people should the need arise.
Fantastic. And your alignment?
Yeah, so she's good aligned, and her like alignment bond, I guess, whatever you want to call it, is defend those weaker than you. So yeah, we have quite a few opportunities to get that done. So it's a good alignment to have.
And let's run down your bonds.
Okay. Let's see here. So I have bonds with Matthos, Iridia, Brack, and Fawyt. Do you just want me to read through them?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So my bond with Matthos, which hopefully we'll eventually get to change it. This is like the one bond that I haven't changed since the beginning, but it says he obviously thinks that my questions and others' questions are trying and that I'm naive, but I am a warrior and the daughter of a hero, and I will prove him wrong.
Great.
Not sure where you picked that up from my character.
Just at the very beginning. My bond for Iridia is that she is a fancy woman with fancy clothes. She doesn't really know a lot about fighting, so it would be best to keep her protected if she cannot protect herself, especially since she can sometimes, every once in a while, charm her way through a situation.
I love
So
I love
yeah,
all
we're
those
working on fighting.
qualifiers.
Just I mean, sometimes. My bond with Brack is that he's practical and he took very well to a leadership role and telling people what to do. So I think I'm going to encourage him to take some sort of important role amongst the group. First mate, maybe? And then my bond with Fawyt. She wears clothes of the faithful, but she's prone to suggestions of violence. She probably believes that the means justify the ends. I trust her to protect us, even if her violence is perhaps more than I would care for.
Great. All right. Moving down to Fawyt. So for your look, we have here sharp eyes, tattooed head, deceptive clothes, and lithe body. Go ahead and give us that picture.
Yeah, so essentially for all the Obeline, they're pale skinned, so she's pretty fair skinned. Roughly like 5'8"-ish. Um,
Sounds right.
the big thing that kind of sets her apart from the rest of the faithful of Vartir is that instead of having a shaved head, she has a sort of braided ponytail, which pretty much can say that something went wrong. Yeah, she has a tattooed head for being a member of the faithful, and yeah, the deceptive clothes is because she essentially has armor hidden underneath all of her clothing.
Great. And alignment?
Alignment is lawful. It's to deny mercy to a criminal or unbeliever.
Great. And bonds?
Um, I have bonds with Zahida. It says a lost child is a target for wolves of many sorts. She may not need my protection, but I can work to spare her from the worst of the world. Matthos, his is like the shortest one that I have here. His timely distraction helped me avoid the worst. That was from our last play session when we were all together,
Mm-hmm.
when I almost died. Orn, understanding, if not acceptance, he and I are a slow-moving storm when working together, leaving all broken behind us. And then Brack, he's probably the longest bond that I've had. It's for years I've only had myself to rely on. He has been the first to help me in all that time. I may not be able to trust him completely, but he is as close to a friend as I have come.
Good. The only thing I would say here is I think the Matthos bond here could use some kind of sort of actionable thing tagged onto it. Um,
Yeah.
it's like we've was explaining on some of the other streams. The best sort of way that these bonds work is that if you have a sort of statement about sort of how you feel about the character, whether that's from any particular situation or something that's happened or your impressions of them or whatever, and then what you will kind of do because of that, or how how that's going to affect your actions either towards them or with them or whatever, because that's the stuff that's going to be able to work to be resolved or change or whatever to get you that sweet XP. So if you think of anything there, you can go ahead and let us know. Matthos, we went through the other time. It's here. So we don't need to go through the look here, but let's go through your alignment and your
You like
bonds
what I
real
did there?
quick. I do. I see that.
Okay. If we're gonna broadcast my character sheet to the world, it's gonna look like it should look.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Good.
All right. So my alignment is unknown,
Great.
and that's because a thing.
It's because of your which
A
move
thing.
is that? It's one of your moves.
Flexible morals.
There it is. Someone tries to attack your alignment. Great. And your bonds?
So my bonds suck because I don't really trust anybody other than Brack. He was my first friend in this campaign. We drank a shit ton of something together. He's the only one that I trust, and he helped me bury a guy, and I owe him for doing that because he didn't have to.
And that was the like the mushroom guy at the bottom of the temples,
Yeah, the guy
right?
that I talked into basically semi-committing suicide instead of attacking us, and I felt bad for him, so I buried him, and Brack helped me.
And it was beautiful.
It was amazing.
All right.
All right, and then Iridia, I've determined that she's resourceful, and she came into a party by herself and tried to rescue me, even though I didn't really need it. I did take note that she helped. She has a drinking problem, and I'm not okay with that, so I'm gonna help her stop that.
Great.
Which is easy because she doesn't play anymore. Fawyt. I have determined I should probably get to know her a little better, and maybe try to trust them. She also helped me bury that one guy, but then I saved her life, so I feel like I've resolved that.
Great.
And then Orn, the one that abandoned us, and another one that came back, and I need to learn to trust, and he's starting to become more friendly, and yeah.
Great. So yeah, so those are always just good things to keep in mind as we play. So a couple quick bookkeeping things here. So Matthos, you can go ahead and bump your health back up to full, because there'll be rest in here. And if you would like to take the opportunity to repair that armor of yours.
Yeah, I was going to say, I also need to level up, and I have been neglecting that.
Ah, okay. Well, if you would like to do that, you can do that. So so you have leather armor. I believe in here it says that where is it?
I just typed repaired on it, and now it's fixed.
Yeah, funny how that works. Repairs to a mundane item is 25% of the item's cost, which leather armor is 10 coins.
So 2.5.
Yeah, we'll round it to 2. We'll be
Sweet.
kind and benevolent.
I don't have the gold, so I can't
GM.
just subtract that from. I think Orn's got the bank, or no, Brack has the bank.
I think most of it is on the ship right now.
He's the treasurer. Let him take care of it.
Wait, what am I looking at here? Oh, there it is. Right, I'm going to subtract. What did I say? 2?
I think it's free, is what you said.
Oh, and
in the whole drop of things.
You also owed a coin for dinner, so the other night.
I also owe.
Don't give him any more.
I believe it's 3 coins.
For what? What was that for?
For a smoke bomb.
Oh, so you're getting another one?
Well,
Yeah,
I owed 3 for the first one, but then yes. Hang on.
So 3.
So you're letting him have 2 smoke bombs?
Well, he used one, so.
Oh.
I was about to ask, have we solved that huge disagreement yet?
I'll be right back.
The answer is no. we have not solved that. But hey, maybe there will be something. So just to catch, actually this is fine that Hawkeye to step away because we already know what he's been doing in these couple days. So to catch you guys up, so in the couple days since the big kind of fight you guys had with the Armada agents, Um, the town has been in this kind of uneasy um, sort of state of trying to relax. They There's a couple things going on. So number one, these Armada infiltrators were all trying to escape, and the side of that that's gotten people all sort of worried is that now they have faces to all these people who they know are Armada, and in most of those cases, those were people that people had no idea were sort of working on the inside. And there's a considerable amount of people, such as Etker, who was pretty high level in the government. Other people who were the heads of, you know, not companies, but things like that, and people of influence, blah blah blah. So people are sort of on edge about that. The town guard has been trying to sort of keep
Alright.
things under control
Sorry,
and
I'm back.
investigate. Hey. And so that's kind of got some people on edge. The other side of it is that reports have been sort of coming in a bit that the majority of the Galewalker horde that had taken over Third Sholdor has apparently dissipated, and no one really knows why. But that is at least a bit of relief that they are no longer apparently under the imminent threat of siege and invasion. So, so for Fawyt and Zahida, what do you think you guys have been kind of up to in the day or two after what happened there in that big fight with the Armada people?
We were in the mummers' quarter, right?
Yeah, the big fight happened right over here, kind of up in this corner, where the gate would have been to get out. So.
Just because, I mean, she wants to help people out anyways, but just because she doesn't know if she can quite trust him either, and wants to maybe be on his good side, she would probably go to Kintellistral and be like, "What do you need me to do?"
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like to help, I don't know, like rebuild or bury bodies or whatever the case.
Yeah, that's super interesting because he obviously he operates out of the Mummers Quarter, and the Bohemians in general are based there, and so he certainly has a vested interest in the area and this amount of chaos and destruction and whatnot that was caused there in the Mummers Quarter is definitely of concern to him.
Right.
So, yeah, I think there's any number of things that he could have you do, and I think he, for one, is smart enough to know that you're probably half keeping an eye on him, that you don't completely trust him, but he is the kind of person that would kind of live and enjoy that the sort of the cognitive dissonance and the discomfort of that, and would find that amusing. So yeah, so I think he's getting you to help. Matthos had said that he was going to be helping this first day, basically with Richolas, helping kind of clean up that square that you guys had that fight in. So I think he has you doing similar things, and checking on people in the quarter, and maybe doing a little bit of kind of knocking on doors for investigative purposes. The town guard are sort of doing their own investigations in terms of hey, this person was found out to be an Armada infiltrator. We have to make sure that everybody around them is good, and that sort of thing. So he probably has you checking in on some people there because of course he always wants to be as informed as possible. So that's great. I dig that a lot. Fawyt, any ideas there?
I would just see her more, since she's so like militaristic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She's like on repairing the gate or at least helping.
Yeah. Great. So there's a couple of you helping all out with that then. I forget exactly what. Um, I think Orn was sulking, and Brack was. I think Brack was helping people on the ship and in like the refugee camp. That's kind of over here basically with all the people from Third Shoulder. Great. So in Matthos has a thing that he kind of disappears and goes off basically that evening, and then the next day, he reappears with a Rickless in tow, as well as one of his sisters. Where did I put all that information? Here it is. So with Jinna, who is a slightly older sister of his, and then not too long after that, they also bring in Larsa, a slightly younger sister. So the three of them are all siblings, and they are now a part of your crew.
The recruiting efforts are going well.
Recruiting efforts are going well.
That's an
And
understatement.
Matthos, if you have anything that you would like to share with the group about anything that happened there, or anything else that's going on, you are welcome to. You are welcome to not, as you see fit. But
Does he look beat up?
yeah, you look beat up, right?
Not as bad as Rickless.
Rickless looks real beat up. Yeah, he does.
I just took like a slash to the side of the neck area. Rickless took a full-on stab to like the kidney.
Yeah, so he's they're back on the ship, and Jinna is kind of taking care of the two of them. Larsa had been basically under under guard investigation, but so then the following day, you guys are having been back on the ship at some point. Nilia, the governess of Third Sholdor, requests a meeting with the three of you, as well as Iridia. And is that something that you guys will all be acquiescing to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What,
mean,
was,
I
I wouldn't see why
what are we
not.
doing?
The mayor.
Yes,
Or governess.
the governess. I think she's been doing a lot of work in the sort of among the refugees or whatever. But I think you guys have we described what a so have we mentioned if we have like a kind of like situation meeting room or something on the ship here?
Probably the yeah. Isn't there like a not? It's not really like a map room, but it's like a at the back of the ship. There's like an area with the windows and the controls or something.
At the front of the ship, there's the bridge.
Oh,
Like
front?
on the yeah.
I mean, we'd probably use the bridge, right?
Yeah, or I could I mean I kind of have in my head that there's some kind of sort of room either behind that or I guess here's a great sort of opportunity to take a second to describe this ship, because we've only kind of referenced it a little bit, and since we don't have our lovely artwork anymore because we don't want to get in trouble for streaming it. Basically, most of the sky ships in this world that you've come across and seen so far, basically look like large wooden sailboats, but also have sails coming off of like the sides and the bottom, things like that. Whereas your ship, the Horizons of Infinite Correlation, which you guys found at these temples that we'll kind of get into a little bit more when we get back to the anchored session that we'll get to, is kind of like half mountain, half flying city. It's the sort of the front portion of this ship is basically this huge section of rock, basically, and at the sort of the back and behind and above and whatever are all these buildings and things that have been built, that it looks like basically kind of a small flying city. It is enormous, and it is way bigger than anyone has ever seen a ship be.
We compared it to some sort of naval vessel at one point, but I don't remember.
An aircraft carrier.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I think is what we said. Was that what we said, Eric?
Yeah, it was an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, aircraft carrier like Titanic, like the kind of thing that you could be on for a long time and never see all of it. And with the addition of that, there's also this that there is a lot of this ship that has been undiscovered. There's sort of weird kind of time dilations going on where there are areas of this ship that are like pristine and brand new looking, and areas that look absolutely ancient, and kind of weird divides between those areas, as if there were, kind of like waves of weird like temporal energy that was dividing those. There's a lot of mystery to this ship, and we've only gone and sort of discovered a handful of rooms. That is a kind of a move we have aboard the ship here. So we have a little bit of that discovered, but there's tons and tons and tons of this ship that you guys all basically know nothing about. And you tried to stuff a town's worth of people. I believe
somebody might have discovered something about the ship. It just wasn't us.
It's entirely possible.
That's why I brought Rickless.
So, yeah, I believe we said something somewhere in the area of like a couple thousand people was population of that you were able to get out of Third Shoulder. Am I remembering that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So, yeah, and then one of the things I believe we had established was that kind of in the center at the back of the big sort of rock area was a big kind of like keep tower sort of section. Matthos, I don't know if you had any specific ideas about this, but this was kind of where I was imagining the captain's quarters, kind of in that. And I could certainly see some kind of a meeting room, kind of a round table vibe area going on in there as well. So let's kind of say that is where this meeting is happening. So I'm imagining this room being rather large, like the kind of room that you could have a like a parliament meeting in or something like that. But with like a big table down at the middle. And I think this, being so large, this room feels kind of big and empty. I think maybe people have set up some makeshift like torches and things in the walls to try and get some light in here and whatever, but there's like a ton of old like rotting tapestries hanging up on the wall in a couple spots, and this, I think, a large portion of this room has a lot of that ancient feel to it, but you guys are all end up meeting in here, and so it's again the three of you and Iridia and Nilia and Endeleberus is also here. He is, if anyone remembers, and if I can find where I have all of these notes, I really wish I could be better organized about this. So Nilia is the like I said, the governess of Third Sholdor. She's sort of 40s-ish equivalent, with very very dark skin and short black hair and gray eyes. She's always kind of dressed for kind of work and business. She's very no frills. She's probably got her sleeves rolled up and possibly even like a little sort of sweaty looking or something. But she's clearly been doing work out, helping the people of her town, as they're sort of refugees at this point, and trying to take care of them. Endeleberus is a barblish male. He is older, so the equivalent of like if he was in his 70s or something. He's got light skin, and his hair and his fur is blonde, with like black, quote unquote, like socks, like as if like a horse has those, like, yeah. Um, and these vibrant orange eyes. He's Nilia's minister of crafters, basically. But they have asked this meeting, and so you guys all sit down. And
Dang, she didn't bring the pumpkin.
she did not bring the pocken. That is Thist, is for Minister of Merchants. So he is not here right now. He's off. You would assume
That's
doing other things. Yeah, he's pretty cool too. So she sits down with the group of you. Endeleberus is there at her side, and I think he often has this almost sort of like sleepy demeanor about him, but his eyes are always like there. I mean, he is fairly old, but Nilia sits down with you, and says to all of you, we have a job for you. As I'm sure you've heard these reports of the Gel Walkers apparently moving on from Third Sholdor, we would like to get some more concrete information. As I'm sure you have seen, it is not lost on us that we are a burden to this city. My people, the people of Third Sholdor, are in need here. And if indeed the Gel Walkers have left, we would like to be getting back to our homes and rebuilding as soon as we can. We are people that are used to having to rebuild. That is no hardship for us. In fact, I believe most of us will find it welcome to the situation we are in currently. So, I would like a group of you to travel back to Third Sholdor. I have procured the services of another friend, and just as she's saying that, the doors kind of swing, I don't know if forcefully is the word, but they swing open, and in comes striding in Gentis-Jentish, who, if anybody remembers, is he is a hathen-boren. He is the captain of the Shadows of Eminence, cast in the centuries, which has been kind of around. He's the nice boots guy, yeah. So he had been around. He went with you guys to to go get the Horizons. He was the one that sort of helped organize that crew to sort of get you guys there and back. He's been helping with he helped in a bit of the attack when the Galewalkers came, and he's kind of been around between these two cities. I think by now you basically know that he's more or less like a freelancer, sort of mercenary-ish type thing, but he's got ties, pretty close ties to the trade community in Third Sholdor, as well as some ties with the Bohemians here in Newwater Nest. So he comes walking in, and he is the human head part of him is male, and the animal head on the left is female, and he is sort of older for a hathen-boren, which is not like super old. But he has sort of more tan skin, sort of dark red hair, like a big beard, and he is currently not wearing a shirt. He's just got like a kind of a vest on, that's sort of like hanging loose. That's pretty common for him, and sort of big billowy, brightly colored pants, with these his signature boots on, big tall. Really nice, big, tall leather boots. They've got like a couple little like embellishments on them, but it's very tasteful. It's just very. They've got these sort of the way that like a spur would sit on a boot that sort of goes over the front of the ankle and sort of hangs back. He's got these little contraptions that have like kind of these big thick hooks on them. So they kind of rattle a little bit and make a little bit of that metallic clang when he walks. He's
like a pirate cowboy.
He's like a pirate cowboy. Yeah, that's a great way to. And he's got his whip at his side as he always does as well. So he walks in. He walks in and takes a seat, and just kind of smiles roguishly at everyone, and
his title is captain, right?
He is a captain, yes. It says, "I apologize. Don't let me interrupt. Please continue." And Nilia just kind of gives a little bit of a okay, and so she then goes on and says, we have arranged with Gentis-Jentish to send a small ship. He is found a small vessel that will be able to take you in, hopefully without notice. We do not know what to expect there. We hope these reports that the Galewalkers are gone are true, but we of course have to take precautions. Of course, I understand that this would be a risk for all of you, but we think that we can come to a mutual agreement. And then she kind of turns over to Endelibris, who sort of sits up a little bit and continues saying, "Yes, we understand that there has been a workshop that we've been trying to get running here on the ship, and of course in our current situation things have been less than ideal. The lack of materials and tools and things of that nature that we need is certainly a problem. So, in addition to gathering information back in Third Sholdor, if you would be able to find, it's hard to tell what the state of the town might be, but I think it probable that you should be able to find some manner of materials and tools, things that are hard to come by that we have been attempting to do what we can to trade here in New Water Nest, but it has been difficult. So, if there are things that can be procured, we can help finally get this workshop set up. And I've even heard from some of our people, uh, among those that already wish to stay on board with our agreed upon merchant group. Some of them have family members and others that are craftspeople who have also expressed the desire to stay aboard the ship when we eventually get back to Third Sholdor. So, if we can secure these materials and rebuild this workshop for you, we can offer this group of craftsmen to stay here with you that will help you get this facility running. And you see Iridia, who's with you, her eyes immediately light up at this prospect, and because she's the one that had been trying to get this workshop sort of together and going.
Yeah.
And you can see her sort of mentally running through all the potentialities of things that could be done with a workshop, and she immediately turns over to you, Matthos, and says, Matthos, look, I know you've been complaining about those smoke bombs, but if we can get this workshop together, I know it's been difficult for me to get the materials and everything, but if we can get this workshop together, I can promise you as many of those things as you can carry. I could even... There
You
are
had me at smoke bombs.
possibilities.
I was out, and now I'm in.
Matthos, there are possibilities. There are so many things I can tinker with. I can... we can talk later, but I can make this worth your while, I promise you.
Say no more, fam. Let's go.
And Nilia says, of course, we will also offer a small payment to each of you, in addition to the offerings of the craftsmen and the materials that we can share. I hope that this is agreeable. The people of Third Shoulder would dearly like to get back to our town and to rebuild, as I have said. I know you have done so much for us. But please, I am asking this of you, to help us again.
Hey, I love helping. And I clap my hands together and I say, all right, are we ready?
And she smiles and says, very good. I will let you make preparations and get underway. Thank you.
Before she leaves, are all these tapestries on the wall the same?
No, I don't think so. Why
Okay.
do you ask?
Well, I'll take one that looks particularly interesting down, and I fold it up and I give it to her, and I say, take this to, when you head back, can you take this to your friend, what was his name, Fist?
Which one?
The one who was like, he was really afraid when
Oh,
we
the
mentioned
merchant guy.
Yes.
Fist, yes.
Fist. Yes. I say, can you take this to him? And if he's the knowledgeable sort, and he seems to have an interest in history. Could you take this to him and ask him if he knows anything about it while we are away?
Of course, yes, absolutely.
I say we have. I said obviously, many people or peoples or groups or whatever all of these tapestries are for. They all met here, and it would be nice to have some sort of history about this ship.
Absolutely, I will. I will let him know and see what I can do.
Perfect.
Make note of that. Great. So, does anybody else have any preparations that they would like to get going? So, basically, so Gentis-Jentish has basically procured a small ship that he's able to use for this. So it's not his not the Shadows, not a huge ship. This is basically the size of like a kind of a sloop-ish thing, so a little bit bigger than your the question card from Disregard that you had and blew up, but not too much bigger. It's got a lot of, not a lot, but it's got a good bit more sort of below deck storage, sort of cargo space, which is why this is the kind of ship that you were using for this to sort of bring this materials and cargo back. Oh, and I think Endeliberus definitely gave you kind of like a list of things to be on the lookout for. There's a you know, I guess I don't really know what kinds of things might specifically be, but
It's like it's a scavenging quest. Bring me back 3 shovels, 2 hammers, and the pelts of 4 bears. Okay, great,
yeah,
thanks.
exactly. But yeah, I mean, stuff that they would have had ready access to, being a sort of crafting town and whatnot, but that is either hard to come by or, you know, difficult to remake or difficult to barter for here. All this, you know, stuff like that, tools and materials and things like that. Some little more kind of mundane, some stuff that's like potentially a little more valuable. You know, like raw metals, I'm sure are you know, not of small value, but yeah. Any questions or anything about anything going on there?
Is Iridia going with us?
Iridia's not going with you.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
I was
she's
gonna tell her to probably stay with the ships. Probably. a good
yeah,
idea.
as she said the last time before you guys went running off to that fight, she's not super keen to get into to fights at this point. So yeah, she's going to be kind of your base person. You've also got Rickless back here, obviously. And there's also by this point Orn and Brack have left as well. They I'm sure they would have explained to you that they went off on a mission for Lelish with Kinnarenth, and before they left, there appeared, or Brack brought a bird back, and is storing it on the ship because you guys do have like a stables or whatever. Yeah, it's actually the bird that he talked to when you guys were on the chase there. He remembered it and sort of wiggled his way into obtaining ownership of this bird.
Of course.
Its name is Meep.
I want to ask Iridia a question before we leave her.
Yeah, of course.
Iridia, do you have anything to drink? I'm thirsty.
Matthos, what kind of question is that? Of course I do. And she's got like a flask or something on her. I guarantee that.
Sweet.
Several flasks, maybe.
Probably several. Who knows?
May I?
And she hands it over.
And I throw it out the window and walk away.
Wonderful. She's not thrilled with that.
That's fine.
You know what? Maybe I will only make one smoke bomb for you, Matthos.
You'll thank me later.
Did you did you have anything you wanted Rickless to be doing while you guys are off on this? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, can I actually have him search the ship for a room? Is that a thing that we're going to be allowed to do?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing to ask.
And it's not like I don't want him to find a fucking room full of gold or weapons. I at this point we've got enough people on the ship. I think we need a brig, especially since we have the one, you know.
Well, wait. I want him to find a room full of gold.
The what? So you're
a prisoner.
Yeah. What are you
Really rough shape, but nobody else knows.
What are you what are you doing with that with him?
Rickless needs to find a place to hold him.
But where are you holding him right now?
On the ship.
Where on the ship?
Hidden.
Put him in the captain's quarters.
God no. He's dangerous.
I mean, unless you have something specific, I think Rickless has him kind of tied up or something, like in maybe in his room or something like that. But yeah, he's keeping him a secret. From...
Right. Yeah. So he needs to find like an actual like.
Okay, so you're specifically asking him to
ship.
look for a brig, we'll
Yes.
see how that has gone, I guess, when you.
And if his sister wanted to look for a giant ass room that could be turned into a restaurant where she could make more of that delicious bread,
was good.
I'd be okay with that.
Wait, we have an amazing kitchen.
You do have an amazing kitchen.
We can get her set up in there then. She owned a restaurant in the fancy scholars' quarters, guys, and she had some amazing soup and bread.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
good.
Technically she wasn't the owner, but we never really got into that. But that's why she could leave.
Before we leave, I'm gonna take like 5 minutes here, real quick. So.
Great.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Fantastic. Yeah, cause one of these days I'll remember which one was which. Gina was the older sister. She didn't run the place. She worked for a dude that owned the place, but was kind of one of those deals where that guy didn't do a whole lot. So she basically ran the place, but didn't actually get to run the place.
So that place is gonna go to shit now.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's I don't know if that'll ever come up again, but that's a great thing to keep in mind. But yeah. So...
Yeah.
Great.
So, Fawyt, I'm gonna need your help with something.
With what?
Where is this conversation happening? I always love to
in private, since
in private where?
Like captain's quarters.
Okay. So you've summoned Fawyt to the captain's quarters?
Yeah, we left the conference room, and I'm like, hey, I need to talk with you
for
a minute here.
What do you think these captain's quarters look like?
We need to get this conversation out before Daly gets back.
Oh, fine, great. Okay, do it.
So I have a prisoner that was part of the bad guys, and he was masquerading as an FBI agent, and we found out, and we defeated him, and his partner didn't want to see him again, and I needed to ask him questions, so I made him disappear, and now he's on the boat. And we need information from him. You up for some torture?
He's definitely...
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I can get information.
Yeah, cool. we'll revisit that. But I needed somebody to know.
Beautiful.
Okay. Now, captain's quarters. They're. I don't think they're like gilded and
Sure.
velvet and just like massive. I think they're very. I don't know like what they look like before, but Matthos doesn't really give a shit. He just needs a place to rest. So they're just very plain and unordinary. And
So,
simple.
do you think this is like the actual because again, I'm imagining this being in unless you have a different idea, I'm imagining this being in that like sort of keep kind of an area, like a big tower basically at the front of the kind of the buildings section. So is there like another room that was like this is like the place?
I think it's where it would be on like it's near the front, so that if I need to get somewhere quickly, I can.
Yeah.
I can kind of see everything that's going on, so it's.
Yeah, I think there's definitely like you have a big sort of view out towards the front, so you can see the whole like big stone.
Because we did determine like there's
prow.
windows on the front.
In the
Like
bridge in the bridge section they're basically like magical windows.
Yeah, so I'm assuming or saying that it's somewhere nearby that, so I'm still near the front of the ship where I can see if I need to get to the bridge, I can get there quickly. Like it's up a staircase or through a hallway. From me.
So are you saying that's not in this tower then, or? Because I mean,
like
I think
there's a tower on the front of the ship. Is that what you're telling me?
So the front of this ship is like a big like kind of cliff basically. Think of the that big section of Minas Tirith, like that sort of like stone sort of like blade. You know what I'm talking about?
Gotcha. No, I don't. I wouldn't say that it's up the tower.
Sure, but like
because
close to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like up the tower, I would imagine to be like a more lavish bedroom for some important guests or something like that. The captain's quarters is very functional.
Cool. Yeah, so I could imagine this being like there's in the sort of the front of this tower, there's that meeting room sort of on the ground floor, and then basically like right above that could be these quarters here. Yeah, the kind of question I was getting at was, is this like is the room that you're sort of in here like the actual captain's quarters, quote unquote, or is it like adjacent to the captain's quarters, and that's like that a place that you found that's a little more sort of understated that you sort of set up shop in?
No, I think it's the actual captain's
You think it's the actual
quarters.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I think I would at least do that for myself, even though I don't like have all the luxurious stuff that a captain would normally have on a ship this size. It's just simple, functional, and that's all I care about.
Well, maybe a bunch of it is in that sort of ancient mode. So there's like some stuff that's kind of crumbled or whatever, and
yeah, and I'm fine with that. I don't need that stuff.
Awesome. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we can cover here while we're waiting for.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Perfect. Great. So, when you guys are getting going, Gentis-Jentish leads you over to the mummer's quarter, where he explains that he's got this ship docked that he's kind of sort of borrowing as a favor. And As you approach the ship, you see a figure there waiting and nearby the ship. And as you get closer, you can see that it is Kintellistral,
My fave.
your favorite, who you just did some work for. So, to give a rundown of this fine fellow, Kintellistral is a barblish, sort of middle-aged. I mean, sort of. I have like mid-40s equivalent. Mostly brown hair and fur with like a little bit of gray in it. He he's kind of one of the big deal guys in this Bohemians group, kind of like an information broker type. But he is definitely kind of the George Clooney of barblish, basically. He's even for people who are not barblish and would typically find a barblish attractive. He's a nice looking man, and is real smooth, and just has that kind of like, is really awesome and knows he is, but like in a really great way. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, he's there sort of like leaning back, with two of his arms crossed and like two of his other hands like eating some kind of fruit, like the sort of knife carving piece of fruit off and eating it. And he, as you guys walk up sort of behind Gentis-Jentish, the two of them go up and like shake hands or whatever, and he Kintellistral, Gentis-Jentish basically like jumps up on the boat right away and starts getting things ready to go, and Kintellistral looks at all of you guys and says, "Well, I'm guessing by this point you have realized that, well, I've got an offer for you."
Oh, Kent, what is it this time?
Well, you see, we had some agents back in Third Sholdor, which I'm sure is no surprise. But we've since lost contact with them. Obviously, the nature of what's gone on there, this is shouldn't be too big of a news, but I am worried about what might have befallen my
Wait,
agent there.
they're not on our ship?
What's that?
I said, and they're not on our ship with the rest of the refugees?
No. So that's I mean kind of what he would have expected, that, but that is they were not able to find him. So the agent that went missing is a hathen-boren named Brillia Nil, and in addition, of course, to looking after and seeing if he could find anything about him, he had in his possession something that I would like retrieved. It's called a sending plate. I don't know if you've heard of them. We generally try to keep them fairly secret, but it's a way to communicate. We'll put it in simple terms. And they are very valuable, very difficult to procure, to make, difficult to operate as well, but if you can retrieve this sending plate for me. I know I have mentioned before that I was trying to get an agent aboard your ship, and if you can procure this sending plate for me, I can get this set up on your ship. With one of my agents who knows how to operate it, we can have a channel of communication opened between us. Of course, you know that I'm interested in information that comes off of your ship and wherever it goes, but I am also willing to offer the two-way exchange of information, if this is something that you could agree to.
What does it look like?
I knew I could count on all of you. And he describes this this sort of big um, plate that looks like it's made out of some kind of like stone or metal or something. Basically, the size of like a small kind of desktop. So not not like small, but not enormous. Something that like one or maybe two people could carry. And since it's pretty, you would recognize it if you saw it. And he gives you basically a piece of paper with 4 potential places to look, basically. And yeah, when we get there, I'll let you know what those are, and we can decide where to go and what to do or whatever. But there's four places that he says that you can look for this, basically. And gives you all a little bow and leaves to go on his way, eating the rest of his fruit.
You're welcome, I say.
Great. So then, so you guys are all getting underway. Do all of you have some rations and stuff? Because those are probably things that you should have going on a bit of a trip here.
How many rations?
Well, I mean,
I happen
so
to have 1 ration with 5 uses. That is all I have. Well,
yeah.
And then we have the bread too.
So it depends. Was that back on the ship? Are you taking some of that with you?
No, I have it on my person.
You have it on your person. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's going to take less than a day for you to get over there in a ship. But depending upon, how long and how prepared you want to be.
If we get really lost.
I mean, yeah. Who knows? So. But if anybody would like to buy some rations or gear or anything, now would be the time to do that before we go.
Hey, Matthos, you should buy another smoke. Oh, wait.
You can, Iridia will have one, Iridia would have one ready for you, after the one you've used, so,
tuck that into my pouch.
So that's another 3 coins subtracted, is that right?
Let me make sure.
Because it's basically 3 coins per.
I'm gonna just proc it in chat because it does tell me. 3 coins.
Great. 9 minus
Dungeon
3
rations
is 6.
5 uses. Okay.
5 uses each, yeah.
Because I have 2, but I've used some of one of them, so I have 6 uses left.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if it's easier just to keep track of how many uses you have, that whatever is easier for you guys, it doesn't matter. You're just basically paying the cost for 5 uses. Okay. All right, so you guys get going on your way. Like I said, this is a sort of sloop-ish sized ship. So the 4 of you, the 3 of you and Gentis-Jentish are comfortable on this ship, for sure. and it's not too much work for 4 people. It's
So this is a really small. This is like our original ship then.
yeah, a little bit bigger than the questions or the question.
We'll get to see the remains. Well, if there are any remains.
Maybe, who knows? Yeah. So this ship for knowledge purposes is called A Light to Linger in the Thousandth Age. It's got sort of tannish sail foils on it, and yeah, it's nothing like super fancy, but it's a good serviceable, certainly in better shape than than the question was. But it's like the kind of thing that you might expect, someone to have kind of, it looked like it's been unused for a little bit, but whatever. So Matthos Gentis-Jentish sort of gestures you over to the quote unquote controls, basically, and says, "Well, if you will."
Two captains at the helm, I say.
Well, he's not a human, so he doesn't have animancy, so he can't physically fly the ship.
This is like the I can't remember which Pirates of the Caribbean it is, but it's Barbossa and Jack on the same. They're both trying to capture the Black Pearl.
And as
Alright, let's do this.
Let's do it. And as you guys are getting away, I think he makes mention. Now I'll have you guys know this is sort of on loan. So if we can try and keep from destroying this one, that would be fantastic.
You picked the wrong crew, buddy. And away we go.
Definitely picked the wrong captain. He loves crashing ships into ships.
Yes, I do. No, I don't. No, I don't. I never did that.
Certainly didn't happen. Not even a little bit.
Can't prove it.
Multiple times.
I'm about to. So yeah. So this, I don't think this is like a perilous journey or whatever role, because you guys know where you're going, and whatnot. But I do want to make a roll just to sort of get a read on how this goes and kind of how you get in. Because like they were explaining, this is, we don't know what to expect exactly here. So I'm open to hear suggestions as sort of plans of attacks, or plans of approach, I guess. But I think Gentish suggests that you guys kind of like fly down, basically low along the side of the Toberon, and then kind of try and pop up to stay out of sight, or maybe like anchor somewhere low and then climb up.
Wherever there's the least amount of chance that this ship gets destroyed by Gale-walkers, that's probably where we should park it, right?
Yeah.
So let's do this. So because this is fun, because I'm proud of the work I did on this. So here is the original map of Third Sholdor, pre attack. Make sure you're all nice and like zoomed out and you can see everything, because now I'm gonna bring you over to our new Third Sholdor map, which looks like this.
Hey, there's that big divot where you crashed the ship.
Where? I don't see anything.
I pointed out.
So
Nothing.
this whole thing here, as you guys so astutely observed, is a giant streak divot of this mountain city of a ship, crashing into the thing.
No, it isn't.
This kind of like sort of scored streaky thing over here is the area that you guys magic napalmed. And this right here is the area where you exploded the other boat.
That I did do. That was on purpose.
Yeah, that is a thing that happened. And as you can see, this city is in a bit of a state. So while we are here, I will inform you of the places that Kintellistral informed you. So he said to be looking. Where is that in my notes? Here it is. So the 4 places that he gave you, he said you should look for Brillianil's workplace, which was here in Crafter's Row. He said he had a home in the Upper Cliffs, sort of quarter area section of the city, which is there, right here. And there is also like a hideout safe room kind of thing that they had over in the terrace markets, as well as a sort of storage space, kind of this, down low storage space over in the sky docks. So as you'll sort of remember geographically, this kind of area of the Toberon is sort of like up, kind of on the side of a range of mountains here. So this area is higher than Newwater Nest is, and elevation-wise. And this area over here is basically where the Galewalkers all had access to come up from the little sort of valley dip in the mountains that they had the big pyre thing. So that was kind of the direction that they all came up from. And this is basically like the left shoulder of the Toberon, so the head would be, up over this direction. So Matthos, go ahead and give me a your animancy you do with Dex, correct? That is a move you have. So go ahead and give me a Defy Danger Dex for you piloting this ship and trying to fly in here and do a good thing.
Nice.
Beautiful. That is a 12. So, yeah. So what's your kind of plan of attack here?
I mean,
where are you thinking you want to sort of approach and all that kind of stuff?
This is up to the north. There is all like just a cliff line, correct?
Basically, yeah.
So I want to come in from that direction because that way, if there's something there, we can just kind of scoot along the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't really get to us. And then once that happens, I'll come in from the south and just put down in our giant ass divot or next to it.
Okay.
Or, no, fuck it. Let's use the sky docks like we're supposed to.
Okay. Great. So yeah. So you guys come in, and like I said,
Assuming we don't see any Galewalkers immediately.
Let me give you the picture of what's kind of going on here as you're flying in. So, yeah, you kind of skim out along the sort of the top of the Toberon here, and I think Gentis-Jentish basically sort of gets you to come kind of drop him off, and if anybody else wants to do this as well, just to sort of take a peek before you kind of bring the ship in for real. Does does anybody else want to do that with him, or you just let him do it?
Yeah, somebody should go with him. He's like is he like a big dude?
Yeah, not like huge, but he is a sizable fellow.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay.
Would this be something where I could use my stakeout move?
Potentially. What does that move do?
When you spend a half an hour or so scoping out a place, person, or situation, you can discern realities about your target with plus int and without having to interact with it.
Yeah, actually, that sounds perfect. So I think you guys can come in and sort of maybe like sneak into this little sort of crevice here, and Gentis-Jentish and Fawyt, you guys can climb up enough to get a good look and tell the other guys to kind of wait there until you give them the all clear. So you're able to kind of find a way to kind of climb up into some kind of tower in the skydocks. Maybe this is a tower here. And try and get a look. So go ahead and give me that discern realities. That is an 8. I would let you get a +1 from Gentis-Jentish, but that doesn't matter because I will only bring you to a 9. Yeah, so let's just go over this quickly. So basically, Gentis-Jentish here can do a couple things as per the Perilous Wilds rules of followers. Let me bring all that up here. So he can, when a follower helps you make a move that calls for a roll, take +1 to that roll, but know they'll be exposed to any potential consequences. When a follower helps you hack and slash or volley, roll their damage die alongside your own, use the highest one, and add any damage bonuses you get on top of that. They can help you defend. And then you can also sort of do a roll for them. They have two things here, basically. There's a move called Do Their Thing, which is when a follower does something chancy within the scope of their tags or moves. Roll plus quality. Gentis-Jentish is a quality +2. So basically anything that we would reasonably think that he would be, good at doing, we would roll that, and then some things happen. And then you can also order follower, which is when you order or expect a follower to do something dangerous, degrading, or contrary to their instinct, roll plus loyalty, which I don't. I think his loyalty is like at a neutral 0 basically. So that could go poorly for you. Yeah, so as long as you have fictional positioning to do so, you can get a +1 to a roll from him. Great. So with that out of the way, what is your question from the list? You get 1 for rolling an 8.
I mean, would you guys agree the smartest question is what here is not what it appears to be?
Yeah, let me look through the list here. What happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for?
That or what is useful or valuable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say
Either
of those
one.
Yeah, I'll go with what here is not what it appears to be.
Okay.
We're ambushed. Awesome.
Oh no, there's Gelwalkers hiding in the tower that kill you when you're all dead.
But you'll
switch over.
but shoot first. I cannot be surprised.
Okay, so what is not what it appears to be? I mean, ostensibly this appears to be a city in ruin. And yeah, I mean, as you look out, you can see this big there's this kind of giant like wave of earth here basically that had crashed into some of these buildings. It's yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to take a little bit of doing to sort of get around. You can see from up in this tower or whatever, this area that was sort of your magical teal napalm. Some of that is like still kind of burning. Um,
And
in
it's been like over a week, right? Since we've been here.
Yeah, it's been, how long has it been? Yeah, I mean it's been a good like I think at least like 3 or 4 days. Um, yeah, maybe 4 or 5. So yeah, so there are yeah, that stuff you've got in that ship is some crazy dangerous magical stuff. Um, and so that area, particularly this area in the center here, is really quite messed up. There's like this whole. So to be clear, the Upper Cliffs area here and the Meadows district here, these are just sort of like general kind of like residential areas or whatever. Um, uh, of the city that I didn't feel like drawing in all the buildings and stuff. um, but there's this. I mean, there's just like this huge swath, sort of, burnt through that area. Um, that you sort of built this wall of magical napalm fire to help keep the horde at bay there. And as you sort of do your initial sort of check, it looks. I mean, you don't see obviously a horde of Gelwalkers here. This place looks to be more or less abandoned. But as you look closer, you can see a little bit of movement over towards Fortitude's tower here. And I think it's hard to get a real good look because you're so far away here. But you can see some type of movement down kind of around the base of this tower, and I think you probably catch a tiny bit of movement basically like up on top of this tower as well. And from what you can barely sort of make out around the base of this tower, it does indeed look like some Gelwalkers. It's hard to get an exact sort of reading on numbers and whatnot, because they're, these were not immediately visible, but there's probably a you would guess a decent number. I mean, you can see as you sort of look, know what you're looking for. You can see some kind of like signs of like a camp setting or something like that. So not like a huge horde, but not just like 10 or 15. There's some number of what you are seeing as Gelwalkers here. And like I said, you were able to sort of make out some movement on top of this tower. So whether that means they're keeping some kind of keeping something up in that tower, or if they're keeping watch or whatnot, but it's hard to tell. But that's the only area that you can see movement in. Otherwise, this place is pretty abandoned. There's you can see some wildlife that has kind of filtered in and around. Some probably some crows and whatever, those kinds of scavenger birds around. Crows with horns, for sure. No, actually, one of the what did we say? I guess I didn't go into too much detail, but um, there was a type of bird that appeared in the other. They were the kind of like the size of like an ostrich-ish or something, so like fairly large, but we're flight capable basically. Um, uh, so maybe those are like some kind of scavengers. So maybe there's,
God, that's terrifying.
a flock of those kind of around, um, and yeah, maybe you can see some other sort of animals kind of picking through things or whatever. But that's what you got. So this is kind of over here.
Alright, cool. Well, I'm gonna go back and tell Zahida and Matthos that there are definitely, or Fortitude's Tower definitely has a sizable host of the Gelwalkers in it, but the rest of the town looks to be pretty much abandoned.
Good.
Probably avoid the horde.
That seems wise.
Does it?
Yeah,
Um.
exactly. That's why I said that out loud.
So,
Sure.
so by this time, I think, I think you guys set out at a reasonable time in the morning. So, like I said, it takes less than a day to get here. So I think it's kind of late, late afternoon here by this time. So what's your guys' plan here?
I mean, we're right next to the Sky Docks, which is one of the locations
Mm-hmm.
we need to look for
Um,
the.
where are you guys stowing the ship here? Um, what all that kind of deal?
Is there some place that we can stow it that it's kind of hidden?
Yeah, I think you can find somewhere. I think there's enough stuff here in the sky docks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so they're up in a tower over here. That's a pretty decently sized tower. And even in a small ship, I think.
They've already seen this.
Uh,
Fuck.
I mean, I don't know that there's any way of telling that. But like, I mean, you guys came in here and sort of docked, pretty, uh, you know, inconspicuously here where you are, here. But, um, I think here's what I'll say. I think if you want to try and dock somewhere in the sky docks, it's going to take a roll.
No, I'm good with that.
So you want to try and sort of like hitch it up on the side of the
Stay below the cliff line so we can
cliff
just
line?
jump off onto the ship and go. Yeah. I'm good with that.
So I think Gentis-Jentish sort of goes in and basically kind of pulls out some rigging stuff, and kind of jury rigs this system where he sort of like pins anchors into the side of the cliff with like some kind of spikes or whatever, and is able uh, to get enough secure there that you've got this thing tied up, with a kind of number of of ropes and stuff like that. So it's probably not something that's gonna be like super easy to leave like really quickly, but yeah. And then I think you guys are able
Got the
to.
ropes.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Um, that would be a fun thing to try.
Certainly try.
Yeah, and then I think you guys are able to to find a spot where you can kind of climb up the cliff here, and end up over here in the Skydocks. So the one of the places that Kint told you about was a kind of a low key storage area, basically, that was here in the Skydocks that you could check out. Um, so let's have a roll here to try and see what we can find. I think that probably sounds like a discern realities to me in some regard. Right? Does that seem?
I mean, you're the GM. You tell us.
Well.
Depends on who has to make that roll.
I mean, I have a 0, so.
It's better than my -1.
I have a 0 for a straight up like discern realities roll, but if I use stakeout, I can get +2.
Yeah, I mean, here's how I'll say that. I think if you want to go the stakeout route, that's taking some time to do this, basically.
Yeah, it pretty much says it has to take a
Yeah.
it has to take a half an hour.
Like a half an hour. So I'll let you guys make that call. But we can get one aid or interfere, or you can just take a +1 from Gentis-Jentish as well.
Aid, perhaps.
To aid the roll, basically. So what do you want to do?
I mean, I could. Well, I don't really have any. Do you get a? Would you still get a +1 if he was using the stakeout? If I used aid or interfere?
Yeah. But like, so you would. So yeah. So Fawyt could use the stakeout, and then you could do aid or interfere, and get the +1 there. Although, I mean, to be perfectly honest, when you guys are here with Gentis-Jentish, you can basically just get a free +1 from that. So I think that's
Okay.
don't need to. No sense in making that.
Sure. Use that free.
I guess the only thing I will say there is that if you're taking the +1 from Gentis-Jentish, then they are open for danger.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
If the roll goes badly.
I mean,
Matthos, you can't just throw everyone under the bus.
I have replacements for all of them.
I'll aid or interfere.
Okay, great. So Fawyt, go ahead and make that roll for the stakeout. That's a 9. And then let's go ahead and get that aid or interfere. So that's plus however many bonds you have with Fawyt, which is probably 1.
Ooh.
Fantastic. So that bumps it
you get
up.
Lots of help.
That bumps it up to a 10. So you get to ask 3 questions, right?
Yes.
That's what the 10 is. I think I'm right.
I believe it is.
Yeah, 3 questions.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. So as you guys are sort of picking through the areas here, these are sort of big, lots of kind of hangar-like things. There's most of the. Well, sorry. Go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll give you information.
No,
Yeah, just keep going.
Free information.
So definitely what here is useful or valuable to me.
You're welcome. You're welcome to ask them one at a time if you would like, or if you just want to ask them all at once, it's fine too.
Can I confer with my party members?
Of course.
What do you guys think would be the best for
I would
it?
say maybe another one would be what here is not what it appears to be.
Yeah,
because, I mean, if Kintellistral's agent is alive, they're probably like like doing their best to maybe hide out or
Yeah.
leave some sort of clue somewhere or something that would be recognizable to I don't know, anybody who would be able to see something like that. On a 10, you see it. I would say that's a good second question.
And you
Um,
get 3 of those?
3. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a third one as well. If you want, we can start answering the first 2 and then see what you think is like left over here, basically. So your first
Yeah.
one was useful or valuable, right? So I think as you are kind of traipsing through this area, like I said, sort of this is a docking area for ships. As this was sort of a pretty big trade hub in a way. And so there were lots of ships going in and out all the time. This area of ships here is basically empty right now, because any of the people that were able to escape on ships during the attack did so. I mean, there's probably like a couple things that are broken down and unable to have flown out, but so I think what you can get here is yeah, I will give you some basically like an amount of some tools here that you can sort of root around for. Um, you know, there's plenty of like maintenance work would have been done here, so I'm sure you can find some, like hammers and things like that that would have been um, you know would have been done here. So we'll give you sort of plus tools here. Um, from that, and then so then we just need to sort of I mean, you can tell me how you sort of want to get that together and back to the ship or whatever, whether you want to do that now or set it up for later or whatever. And
Sure, there's like
then
a crate around here somewhere, right?
sure, yeah.
Pile them in there. Put that shit on the ship.
You want to take it right back to the ship right now?
Well, I mean, I'd wait until we, finished.
Okay,
looking
sure.
for
But
where it is. Set it aside. Put a marker on it.
great. What is not what it appears to be? So here, I mean, in this area of the city, this is kind of behind where the Horizons was parked, and sort of on the opposite side from where all the action was happening. So this area is relatively kind of untouched. You just kind of see uh, the hurry of people trying to sort of get and evacuate and whatever. So there's a manner of things left lying around, and you can see the signs of like hasty ship disembarkings and that kind of stuff. I think what you can find that is maybe this is not exactly like not what it appears to be, but I think you can find signs that there were things here, especially when you're going and looking for and finding tools and stuff, that there is stuff here that was kind of picked clean and like kind of scavenged. So whether that was the Galewalker horde coming through after the attack, or whether it's this group here, they're most of like the anything that you could find that could be like really valuable is not here. So that's been like I said, sort of scavenged. Yeah, and yeah, go ahead and ask your last question there as well, if you have one.
I'm tempted to ask, what should I be on the lookout for, or what is about to happen?
That's where I was leaning to.
I mean, those are both pretty similar to each other. I think either one would maybe help.
Hmm. Does anybody feel strongly either way between those two?
I do not.
Nope.
I think I'll go with what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay. So yeah, I think when you're getting sort of closer in here, to the kind of tower you were on the outside, you do see that there is uh, more. I mean, like I said, you notice those birds and stuff, but there is, as you're sort of looking through, even in this more abandoned area of this, you do see a little bit of that wildlife, and uh, in this kind of an area, it's pretty skittish. Um, but I think basically that you'd be able to tell that um, there could be some dangerous stuff kind of just roaming around. Sort of to the effect of like like feral dogs or like something along those kind of lines. So that is probably something that you also kind of want to be watchful for. Um, and then yeah, I mean just sort of wrap all this up. You're able to find the storage area that Kint had pointed you towards, and it is basically completely emptied out. It's like if you go into like a garage or like a one of those big storage units or something like that, and it's pretty much entirely cleaned out. And that is what you get from the Skydocks. So you want to go take those tools and put them on the ship.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you do that. What's next?
Well, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't proceed to the crafter's row, but we definitely need to be a lot more careful, especially if the Gelwalkers aren't the only dangerous stuff around here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe since you can't be surprised, you should walk like 20 feet ahead. 20 feet ahead.
Gaming those mechanics.
That's
It
right.
is the most cheese move ever. It's great. Yeah, I'll sort of like scout ahead and see what I can see.
Great. So Crafter's Row is where you guys are
get caught.
headed out here. Okay, so who wants to make a roll for this area? And so because you used the stakeout area in that first, you were kind of taking your time there. I think it's getting on into sort of early evening now. It's like the sun is starting to set. And as it starts to get a little bit darker, you can definitely see some torches and stuff lighting up in the area around Fortitude's Tower. And yeah, great. So let's make some rolls.
The darkness to our advantage, right?
Well, so yeah, darkness actually helps me. So, with the +1 forward, I could do just a straight up discern realities. I would think.
Well, you get the +1 forward. It's from your last one you're talking about,
Yeah.
because that's +1 forward when acting on the answers.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think that's necessarily applicable to a new area here.
Do.
Have any of these? God, I'm just trying to remember like areas that we like visited a lot here, but we really weren't in Third Shoulder for like that much amount of time.
No.
No, not really. Especially not you, Zahida.
Yeah.
Because they were here kind of before they went on the road where you met them. And they spent some time sort of in the animal markets area, with I believe it was a Munder, the Pocken, elderly Pocken woman that you were kind of staying with there. And I mean, you know, the first time you were here around enough to to have gone to some shops and stuff. So it's it's the kind of thing like you you would know your way around this city like you would know your way around like a city that you've been to like on a day vacation or something,
Mhm.
kind of a thing. At least Fawyt and Matthos. Um, and you've also seen this from the air too. So you have that advantage of sort of being at least somewhat aware of a general layout. So let's go ahead and make some rolls. So I think here, if Fawyt, if you are intentionally staying out in front, uh, kind of by yourself, clearing the path, this would not be an opportunity. Basically, this would not be something you could get an aid on if you're fictionally out front alone.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like for a normal discern realities roll, I don't have a negative. I also don't have a positive, but
So are you doing a normal discern realities or the stakeout again here?
um, I'm not sure there. What do you guys think? Because the stakeout gets us a +2, but it takes time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what we're short on now,
Yeah.
I think.
I would say just a regular one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's have it. 9. So you get one question.
Mm, all right. So, you guys think keep on going with what here is not what it appears to be, or what should I be on the lookout for, or what here is useful or valuable?
That's the way I was leaning.
Zahida?
Um. Yeah, no, I would say what here is useful or valuable to me because if we're only getting one question, we need whatever
Yeah,
it's going to be, whether that's information or tools. I mean, we need
yeah.
whatever's going to be the best. So,
All right. So, what here is useful or valuable to me?
Okay. So this to my sort of picture is since we're rolling discern realities and not stakeout here, this is a much more kind of active. Like this is definitely you kind of like poking around in the streets and you know um, running up alleys and things like that, rather than just sort of like sitting and trying to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so I think you're able to sort of find the kind of the location of this guy's workplace, as Kint had described it, um, and I think Gentis-Jentish, back with the other two there, is able to help give you some guidance there. So while Fawyt is kind of out watching the flank and scouting ahead or whatever, um, you guys in the back are um, able to find the place. And as you approach this shop, or you know uh, sort of workshop area, basically, as you're in Crafters Row, it's uh, where are my words? A sort of reasonably sized, like a glass blower, um, kind of deal that you can sort of tell. So it's got like furnaces and things like that as you sort of are poking around inside. Um, and as you approach this place, a lot of this stuff is uh, not necessarily in terrible shape. There are um, again, you see these signs of kind of picking over things, um, and that sort of business. But you are looking, and you find this shop, and the kind of the way that you are seeing in this area. This is something that the that you can see has definitely been more sort of purposefully picked clean. Um, so, um, you, I mean, you can find like a couple of things here, I think, but I don't think enough to justify like a whole. It's maybe like a couple random things that you can sort of toss into your pack or whatever. Um, but getting close to the shop here, you find that um, the back of the building basically has kind of collapsed, because there's sort of typical marks of basic sort of looting and pillaging. Like a couple of the buildings are maybe burned or something, and whatnot. So I think there was like a building behind it, that had sort of burnt and fallen down and collapsed, kind of on the back side of this shop, um, and um, so Fawyt, are you getting here first? I guess you were the one that made the roll here. So, as you make your way into the inside of the shop, you sort of see this area, that is um, collapsed in, and as you are walking, very carefully around and sort of trying to poke around, you uh, you hear a noise, um, that sounds like it is coming from somewhere, um, basically in the collapse, kind of underneath of the collapse. And I think by this point, the other three of you are able to come in. I think you're probably, um, with the four of you making like a little bit of noise. But what do you guys do?
um,
If she like holds up a hand to like stop us, I stop.
yeah, I mean, I would definitely I would like show in some way that I had heard something. There was something.
So is there like kind of at the door, sort of silhouetted in the sunset here.
Yeah.
I would stop. Mickey.
I would also freeze.
Also hold my shield up.
So with the stay out of light, since my eyes are more attuned to darkness, can I see anything if I like look at it a little bit closer? I don't want to go up to it just yet.
Mm-hmm. Um, so yeah, I think as you're getting in there, sort of closer to it, you can see on the inside of this that like I said, the sort of the building behind it had sort of crashed through the roof and toppled in, and there's actually a section of the floor that it sort of caved in a little bit as well. So by that, you can tell that there is some kind of sort of basement area or something that that's underneath of there, and that's kind of where you've heard this sound come from. And it was I mean, it was a faint sound. And I think if you are stopping and being very cautious about it, you probably hear something um, again, another sort of faint sound. But it's very hard to make out exactly what it is
It's just a fucking mouse hanging out
through all the rubble.
in the basement. It's just a mouse in the basement. I mean, there's two things it could be. It could be Gelwalkers, or it could be Kent's person.
It could be a feral animal.
Or, yeah, that. Is there any sort of normal way to get down to that basement that I can see?
I think if you're looking around for that, you can find what should be the entrance down to this basement area. But as you're trying to sort of like track kind of where it would go or whatever, that kind of staircase or whatever entryway is severely collapsed as well.
So essentially, we'd have to jump down to get down there.
Yeah. I mean,
well, you could jump down because you can like fly or something ridiculous, and the rest of us will stay up here until you tell us it's safe.
It's my vertical is only 17 feet.
Only 17 feet. Most basements are not gonna be that tall.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fuck it. I'll jump down there as quietly as I possibly can.
So that I think is going to be a roll, because I think it's going to take a little bit of doing to sort of find a spot in this sort of collapsed roof and whatever, and everything to sort of find a spot that you can actually get down in there.
I waited at the top of the hole
to be able to do that quietly, I think. So that sounds to me like a Defy Danger Dex.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Nice job.
So you are just able to just absolutely silently. I mean, I think this is a little bit sort of falling into old faithhood mode.
Old habits.
Yeah. And I mean, you are just like a shadow moving through here, and you're able to sort of like tuck your way in between some pieces of the building that's fallen through, whenever, and you're able to find a spot. And you drop down into this basement that I think it's a reasonably like tall basement, sort of maybe taller than you might expect. Um, but you drop down there completely silently, and as you sort of quickly look over this area, it's there's some like furnaces down here and some like sort of storage area, that kind of thing. But there is a group of people down here, and I think it takes them a second to notice, because you're you. Um, but there's a couple people sort of on the fringe, that after like 30 seconds to a minute or something, sort of turn around randomly, and see you there, and I think it's like a human woman, and she gives a quick gasp, and a bunch of other people turn around, and there are um, uh, um, oh no, okay, yeah, there's somewhere in the area of like 40 people down here, and
Holy shit.
there, like I said, this sort of basement area is decently
Sorry, Fawyt.
sized.
See you later.
And there are like signs, you sort of looking more around, you can see like sort of makeshift cots laid out and that kind of thing. Um,
No, civilians.
Civilians that are down here, and look very haggard. Some of them, you can probably see signs of starvation. Um, uh, those sorts of things. But you, yeah, here you are. What do you do?
Hello.
Hello.
Um,
I feel like I wouldn't. Once I realized they were civilians, I wouldn't be threatening or anything.
Not intentionally, anyway.
Yeah, I guess not intentionally. The fact that I just pretty much materialized out of the darkness to them.
I mean, do you have do you have your axes out? Or I should say, did you have your axes out?
I think probably not, just because of the amount of like,
Movement
working
and
it
stuff.
took to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
But I will. I don't know. If they're no
Down
threat.
there for like a minute. Is she down there for like a minute?
Probably. I mean, it probably takes her some doing to sort of get in there and whatnot, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I would let the rest of the group know, as quietly as I could.
Voyage.
And I would just be like, "Yo, there's so many people down here. This doesn't even make sense."
I think I mean, all the people there. I mean, they're starting to sort of crowd over towards you, keeping a distance. But there's like people agape, and they're all just kind of like staring at you. I mean,
Nobody's talking.
nobody is. Yeah.
Can you like see down into the basement?
I mean, I think it would take some doing. You're a lot.
Oh, okay.
You're bigger than Fawyt.
I was gonna say, otherwise I just my head through the hole. Just to look and see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I mean, like Fawyt kind of like sort of worked her way in to find a way down there, so it's not like there's just like a hole in the floor.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. But I mean, enough to sort of hear hear her call up, basically.
Okay, there is a staircase, but it's blocked.
Correct.
Can I bend bars, lift gates it?
I don't know. I mean, maybe not the staircase, but there's definitely something here that you could bend bars, lift gates to get a
To like clear a path?
to clear a path here. Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to do that.
Fantastic. Let's
And I'm
see
like,
that.
I say, if we use, what's the rule again? If we use the free +1, we,
Expose him to.
Oh,
risk
yeah.
or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you roll really poorly, he would be also the potential target for.
Okay, I say, Matthos, come here and help me.
Do I have to?
Yes. Get your ass
Fuck.
over here.
All right.
See if I can get a +1 on this.
I think I need
mean,
to
my
roll an
strength
aid
is
first,
good.
though, don't I?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make the roll first.
Okay.
Zahida.
11.
Don't even need it.
Perfect.
So
Which
Matt.
because I don't have a bond with the Zahida.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like, I really hope I don't fail this.
So I think you call
Move the board out of the way.
you call Matthos over to sort of help you sort of clear some stuff out of the way, and I think Gentis-Jentish is maybe like not offended, but like, oh, okay, all right, fine, that you didn't like ask them.
I don't want to expose him to danger. I'm like, I pat Matthos on the shoulder as I hand him like some boards. I'm like, here, it's good to build some character. And I keep going.
And I think
I'm
you just
hitting her over the back of the head with the shed board.
I think you like kind of tear through this in a way that like Matthos, you're just like standing there like holding this board like, okay, I don't know what she expects me to do, and before you can like really do anything, she's like kind of torn through this and cleared out a enough of a passage and a hole that you can sort of see and get down into this.
Let's choose 3, but the one that's the most important is that it doesn't make a lot of noise.
Aha! Great.
And it doesn't take very long, and I don't know, you can fix the thing again without a lot of effort. So if something breaks, I'm like, you just fucking put another board down.
Sure. Okay. Yeah,
so
great.
I clear the staircase.
Yeah, so you're able to clear this path down there, and yeah. So I mean, so then do you guys go down then as well, or?
Yeah, I do.
I think Gentis-Jentish says that they'll stay up here and keep an eye out.
Say shout if something horrible happens.
Great. So the two of you then go down as well, and I think there's as Fawyt is still kind of there, sort of like staring at these people, and they're staring back. I think a barblish woman kind of pushes her way through to the front of the group. Like I said, most of these people sort of look pretty haggard, and I mean, how quickly do you get like malnourished? I guess it's not like.
I mean, it takes. I mean.
More than like 4 or 5 days.
If somebody like starves to death, it's like 45 days.
Oh, okay, yeah, so they're definitely not that.
Yeah.
But they're.
But a few days without food and water would, yeah.
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah, so I mean they don't look like they're dying, but look like they haven't eaten anything or whatever in like 4 or 5 days. So I think this barblish woman sort of pushes her way to the front and says, "Who are you? Did Brilliant Ill send you?"
Is that the mayor?
That's no, that's the Kint's agent contact.
Oh, like, no, but we're looking for them. The mayor sent us.
Nilia sent you?
Yes.
They're safe?
Yes. Everyone is safe. Well,
No, not every.
mostly.
Yeah.
A lot. A very large portion.
The
Of
majority.
the people, yes. How many did we end up getting on our ship? Like 3,000 or something?
I mean, yeah, good couple thousand.
I was like, yeah, most of the town is safe.
You definitely see like a couple people in the back of the group sort of, you know, express, visible relief, at that kind of thing. And this barblish woman says, we've been stuck down here for days. I don't even know what's going on.
Well, the Gelwalkers came, and then we came to help in our very large ship. In our ship, regular size.
Yeah.
She says yes, we were here when the attack was happening. We saw the ship. We saw the ship coming in, but Brilliant Ill brought us here. He told us we would be safe here, and we were about to try and leave, but the ceiling collapsed, and we've spent days trying to find our way out of here.
Ill hasn't returned?
No. You haven't seen him?
No. And I'm like, I don't mean to alarm you, but you might have to stay here for a little bit longer because there's still Gelwalkers in the city.
You hear some people in the back sort of gasp a little bit at that, and sort of,
They're not here in Crafter's Row.
Well, but yeah, I mean, yeah,
But
it's not. But there, some gasps in the crowd, and some, there's a couple children that are, hugging their parents and maybe softly crying or something, but.
So the ship that we came on definitely isn't gonna fit 40 people, right?
No, it's not. Definitely not.
But if we can create a distraction, pull the Gelwalkers away,
and then
they can probably escape.
Killed by a horde of Gelwalkers.
I mean, it's just one of those poke the bear and run away.
Right. Maybe we.
They're here looking for something. If you haven't figured that out yet.
I mean, they probably have old buddy, Brilliant Ill, up in that tower. All right.
Probably, but what is our job? I feel like the sending stone is what we were told to come get.
Right, but if he has it on his person.
True.
Bet that there is a window at the top of that tower, and it looked like a bunch of them were down on the ground, right, with torches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could take the ship up to the top of that tower, and if you can hold it there, we can just check the very top of it, and if we don't see them, that's our distraction at least, because then they're like, whatever, they're gonna try and rush up the tower, obviously, when they see a ship dock at it. And that can be our distraction to get these people to head towards New Water Nest. Jesus. mean, we should check the other places to be safe, but I mean, guaranteed that it's going to be the path of most resistance. That he's up in that tower or something, and then we're
Yeah.
going to have to find him. But we can't. There's no way that we'll be able to fight that many Galewalkers.
So what are we doing?
Well, I mean, the upper cliffs where his actual house is on the way at least. If we want to go towards Fortitude's tower.
What was the fourth? There were 4 locations, right? What was the other
There's like a hideout, safe house kind of thing over the terrace markets.
Okay, yeah, we should definitely check the other 2 places first, but...
What if we went over here and made something go boom to pull those guys out of Fortitude's tower, and we could circle back around? Maybe wouldn't. Yeah, maybe wouldn't have to deal with all of them at the same time.
That's true. We did.
We were good at making stuff go boom.
That's true. We
Look,
did do
That's
that.
true.
See this great blast zone that I drew?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, we're really good at that. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we have a half-baked plan and a bunch of civilians. I think it's great. And I say, okay, we're gonna try and distract the Galewalkers, and you guys should probably leave when we do that quietly.
And go where?
To New Water Nest. That's where all of your people are at the moment.
There's some more sort of murmurings at that. Someone in the back is like, New Water Nest? That's like a day away.
I mean, you can spend another week down here.
I say, otherwise you will have to wait at least 2 days before we are able to get you out of here.
The barblish woman at the front.
We don't have a means to transport you back at the moment, is what I'm saying. We have to go back to New Water Nest, get a different ship, come back.
Yeah, so the barblish woman at the front, she says, very well, I suppose that we'll have to do. Thank you. And she, who's, I guess Fawyt is, well, Zahida's you're the one, or, sorry, yeah, Zahida, you're the one that's basically doing most of the talking, so I think, she comes over to you to shake your hand, and says, I am Nilia. Thank you.
You shouldn't have given us your name.
Another contact that we're going to hire.
Or is going to die horribly.
I say, we're gonna distract the remainder of the Galewalkers that are here with a really big explosion, hopefully. So that's the signal. If you're curious.
She nods. And she starts waving her forearms around to try and get people all kind of ready to go, basically, and rounding people up.
Oh boy.
And they're ready to wait.
I say, just whatever you do, don't go towards the tower. Go in the whatever the opposite direction of that is the direction you should take.
Yeah, I mean, so the road to New Water Nest is this road down here, so.
Perfect. I guess we go look for shit to explode.
Yeah. So you've got your two areas left to sort of take a look at. You want to have some explosives or whatever. How do you want to go about doing this? It's getting it's basically I think the sun is more or less set by now. So it's basically nighttime here.
We found gunpowder here in the crafters row last time, right?
Yeah, I believe that's where you got it from. When you loaded
All right,
up the ship.
I look for some more. I look for some more of that.
Okay. That sounds like a discern realities to me.
Sure.
Are you all kind of doing this together, or are some of you going to check other places, or what's kind of the group plan here?
Oh,
As
we
it's
tell
as it's getting later.
Gentis-Jentish the plan. The tentative plan, I say. Like, are you down? You down with this?
I'm always down for exploding things as long as it's not my ship.
Awesome.
No promises.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so
I mean, I can aid Zahida trying to find the gunpowder since I have a bond with her.
okay.
Do I need to roll first?
Yeah.
That's on you, goddammit.
What?
A 9. All right, give me that. Let's get that aid.
There it is. Great.
Sick. All right, so I got a 10.
You also expose yourself to danger, which doesn't matter because that's bumping it up to a 10. Okay, so I think, yeah, I mean, questions are questions here. I think you find it. I'll just kind of gotta give you this here. You find it difficult to find stuff here, but I think with a really good roll like that, you're able to scrounge some stuff together.
Even if it's just like, if there's like a barrel of bourbon or so, like anything that's, if there's alcohol, if there's gunpowder, I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think the Nilia can help, and maybe some people in there can sort of help point you to a couple places that might be good places to look. Yeah, like one of them says to you, like, oh yeah, I have a distillery that's over that way.
Awesome.
Or I have one of these over that way, that kind of a thing. So like I said, it's a lot of this has been pretty picked through, but you're able to sort of find a couple things with the help of Fawyt. So the two of you go off and do that. So Matthos, what are you and Gentis-Jentish doing then, while they're taking care of that? And I guess, sorry, you're kind of gathering all that together, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I put a barrel on everybody's shoulders. Everybody gets as much shit as I can find. We find it.
Oh, so you're enlisting the help of the people here too?
Oh no, just if they tell us places, that's great. But
Mm-hmm.
no.
Oh, I'm just curious. That's if I mean it was a good roll. So if you wanna.
Yeah, I put a barrel on each of Gentis-Jentish's shoulders, and then I carry 2 barrels, and I fucking wonderful. I mean, we carry as much as we can, so.
Yeah, no, I think with a good roll, I think this is good sort of color here anyway. I think there's a couple people. Probably I think Nilia comes with you. She's got a blacksmith shop here, workshop here that she sort of finds some stuff at. And there's a couple other people that come and help. So I think you are able to sort of scatter some able-bodied people around to find some stuff here. So I mean, Matthos, are you helping out with that, or are you doing anything else here?
Is this a place that we need to kind of search through?
You did.
Okay. Then no, I'll just help.
Okay. Where are you going with this, and how are you getting there?
We need to go over to the safe house area, right? And then hopefully circle back around to Upper Cliffs, unless you want to search Upper Cliffs first and then go do the explosion bit if we can't find him in either one of those locations. Because we need to have enough time, right, to be able to search through them.
Yeah.
We probably do.
And just to sort of give you a sort of a slightly more geographical idea, so the Fortitude's Tower area here is a little bit higher, but it's I mean it's basically looking directly over this Upper Cliffs area, and the terrace markets here are sort of down, on these terraces, off the side here. So there's probably a little more cover there, um, from the Fortitude Tower area, and then also the sort of the camp-ish setup that you saw with the Gale Walkers was kind of down here in this area and around the base of the tower here. So what's the plan?
I don't know. I think that Matthos is right that yeah, we should take the explosive stuff down here to the like safe house area, just because if we put the explosion up in the Upper Cliffs, first of all they'll get there like immediately, and second of all they'll be able to look out over like towards Crafters Row and see the civilians leaving. So if they're heading in the opposite direction, there's a much smaller chance of them seeing them, I guess, is hopefully the idea. I mean, we can take all this stuff with us to the Upper Cliffs real quick, check that area out, and then head south. Right?
Sure. I mean, I think it's probably a little conspicuous to be to having a group of people carrying a lot of stuff through the streets. I mean, that's something that doesn't sound like something that's going to be able to be done like super.
I mean, it is
stealthily.
dark.
It is dark, yes. But I mean, like I said, a lot of this area through here is kind of burned out. So there's like a kind of this swath through the
So
Meadows district and the Upper Cliffs.
Is there even anything of the Upper Cliffs left?
There's some areas, yeah. I mean, like, over here, some of the areas in here. But most of the area through this middle section here is pretty burned through, from what you could see.
I ask Nilia if Kinna's or Kintellistral's agent like said anything, or like said that they were gonna go do something, or any sort of clue as to where this person might be.
Where they went.
Yeah.
It's like I know that we had a friend tell us that he had a house in the Upper Cliffs.
Yeah. It's like, did he give any indication of where he might have been going?
He didn't tell us much. He brought us down here, said we would be safe, and then said he had to go hide something. There was nothing else besides that. Then he left, and then the roof fell in on us.
Brother.
Well, it almost makes sense if he did get caught. He was maybe trying to go to the terrace markets because he had to cross all that area
Yeah.
of barren land. Or when he was coming back, he got caught. Either way.
Okay, what about this? What if we went south through the animal markets and placed all of our barrels and shit near the safe house, and then we we check that area, right? And we keep someone there. We split the party gang. We keep someone there, and somebody goes checks the Upper Cliffs house real quick. And if we see movement on the mountain, like the tower, like if they start to like move down the hill or something, like towards the Upper Cliffs, we set the charges, and once everybody hears the explosion, that means it's time to fucking go.
I don't hate it.
Yep. I mean, it's a plan.
As
It's
good a
more
plan
than
as
we
any.
came in here with.
This is like plan C or D, something in there. I think that yes, it's not wise to cross a flat area like the Upper Cliffs with all of these explosives. And potentially get ourselves caught. I think it would be wiser to go through the animal markets.
Okay. Then how are you getting all of this stuff there?
I mean, did we find like quite a bit of stuff? Like
Um,
too much to carry, or
I mean, I'd say it's a fair amount. I think it's enough that the four of you would be carrying some stuff, and probably maybe like two or three of the others, all kind of carrying stuff, and laden with stuff that walking around that much is
Okay,
going to
cart.
take some doing.
Is there a cart around here?
Sure. That's the thing you could look for.
Okay, and then we could pile it on, and I could pull the cart.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a squeaky wheel.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and give that to you. So that you're able to find a cart of some kind and throw things in the back of it. And you start lugging it around. So you're just going with the four of you then? Is that what
I
I'm?
don't think it's wise to take any civilians with us.
Agreed.
Great. So I think, especially with you pulling the cart, Zahida, I think I would like for you to make defy danger strength. I'm guessing,
Okay.
or or potentially constitution, depending upon how you want to paint that. But I think to make sure that we're sort of getting there safely, basically.
Right. Okay. Don't fail me now.
Great. If someone, you can take the +1 from Gentis-Jentish, or if someone else would like to help out. Um,
Let's see. Hold on.
I mean, Gentis-Jentish is the beefier out
Right.
of the three rest of you,
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sure. I ask him to help me out.
Okay, so that bumps it up to a 7. You do not fail miserably. And so on a 7, On a 7 to 9, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. So I think the choice here is this. Either you take a sort of safer route, and it takes a long time, or you try to take a slightly quicker route, and basically you're then not sure of your complete discretion.
As far as I'm concerned, slow and steady wins the race.
Great. So I think by the time then you guys get over here, it is, I mean, I think this takes like a good couple hours or something, because you have to sort of like wind your way through the Meadows district, and then kind of down and around through the burnt out animal markets here. And yeah, I mean, as you sort of get into the area of like the animal markets, I'm guessing you're probably sort of coming, almost all the way around to the outside here, and then trying to sort of work your way back in and down. It's a mess in here. I mean, the getting to see sort of up close and firsthand the impact of this crazy magic napalm stuff. Like I said, some of this stuff is still burning in a kind of unnatural way. And there's like huge sections of buildings that have collapsed and broken apart, and it's a mess in here. And once you get over towards the terrace markets here, there is no mistaking the site of where a small ship filled to the brim with gunpowder exploded over here, and you can see the blast zone and little bits of the ship kind of scattered around as you're sort of trudging your way through here. I think you, Zahida, and Gentis-Jentish sort of trade off at points, pulling the cart as you're, getting winded and stuff, taking a couple hours to.
While we.
What does he say to that? I think at this point he probably doesn't really say much, as he's like, kind of lugging this cart around. Just gives you like a, kind of a. I think the female animal head makes a snarky comment though. I don't know. Imagine a snarky comment that she makes. As that happens. So you guys are sort of getting around and make it over here, and it's sort of very late. I mean, I'm thinking in the area of like after midnight or so, like nearing like 12:30 or like 1 o'clock or something like that. So dead middle of the night here. You can still see the kind of the torchlight and stuff of Fortitude's tower as you're sort of getting your way back in here. You're kind of keeping covered by the edges of the cliffs here, but you I guess you're probably not quite close enough to be able to like hear activity and whatnot, but yeah. All right, so you're setting up the gunpowder and such here. Fantastic. I'm trying to think. I guess. I mean, is there a specific like place that you have in mind?
Someplace where it's not. Well, wait. Is there
Droid.
like still some like magical fire here somewhere?
Over here, no.
Okay.
That's all over in this area.
Over there. Okay.
Be right back.
I would say someplace where there's gonna be. I hate to destroy even like more buildings, but we need to make it so that the Gale Walkers, come running if
Mm-hmm.
there is an explosion. Maybe like right, like kind of in this, like right on the edge of this.
Like here.
Yeah.
I found some barrels.
Are they free barrels?
They are free barrels, or I
Good.
mean, I think so. I just searched for them in the Roll20.
There you go.
Pretty sure that's kosher. Anyway, great. So you have that set up, and then are you guys looking around this area? Are all of you? I mean, you had made some mention of possibly splitting up to go check out the other area as well. What all's going down there?
I mean, I can go look for the hideout.
I think the two sneaky people should maybe do the upper cliffs, and the two fucking stomp ass people can stay here. I don't know. I mean, we can all four look in this area, and then the two sneakies can go up
Well, you just kind of like sit around.
and wait for the signal. I mean, if they go up there, I'm ready to light these barrels the second I see a bunch of movement from the tower.
Mm-hmm. So how are we doing this?
I mean, at the very least, I'll look for the hideout that's in the terrace markets right now.
Okay.
I'm back.
Matthos is back. Okay. So and then Zahida, you're staying with. I think Gentis-Jentish I think would offer to sort of chill with the explosives here and wait for a signal if you wanna go that route.
Okay.
Also, if something happens, just blow it up and get the fuck out. We'll take that as a sign we need to go.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll meet you at the boat.
He gives you a sort of wry smile and a nod at that.
So I think I'll do the discern realities on this next place.
Okay, so all three of you are poking around here.
Can he get 2 aids?
No, you can only get one.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and roll that.
Do it. Okay, that's a 7.
If we did aid or interfere, it'd only be a
Yeah,
+1.
only above this
Yeah.
one, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so what is your one question?
I think it has to be what here is useful or valuable to me.
Mm-hmm. Great. So you're poking around here in this area, and this, yeah, I mean this is sort of over on this side of the magical napalm swath. This is the part of the city that is just absolutely messed up. because this part took the brunt of the kind of the Gale Walkers' assault as they were charging through here. So this is stuff that's like sort of heavily pillaged and all that kind of stuff. But you yeah, as well as the sort of your blast radius from this explosion there's plenty of fires that were burnt out, that burned buildings down and blew walls out and all that kind of fun stuff. But anyway, so you were looking around here, and I think it takes a little bit of time to find your way around here, as you're not as familiar with this and you don't have Gentis-Jentish with you. And I think as you're doing this, you also notice a bit of activity, not like a lot, but from up around the tower, and that there's I mean, this is sort of middle of the night, but I think there's enough going on that you can hear some kind of carousing type things and whatnot, but so there's potentially stuff going on up there, and I think you can kind of notice that from down here, even though you're sort of in and below a little bit, covered by the cliffs. But eventually you're poking around and you are able to find this area eventually where this kind of safe house was, and as you're looking in, you're seeing bodies kind of strewn all over the place here, and eventually you find the building. It's kind of like a sort of like storm door type thing, sort of into a basement underneath of a shop, kind of a deal, out in these markets, as the night out there is getting dark. You can sort of see the mountains out to your left and all that. And as you're sort of making your way down the stairs down to the cellar here, you get there, and the door had been sorry. You get there, and the you're at the place that you should be at, based on the way that Kint described it to you. But the sort of storm cellar door on the back of this kind of in this inconspicuous spot is, from what you can tell, locked from the inside somehow. What do you do?
Ben Bars lift gates in?
Absolutely.
Okay. Don't fail me again, please. Well, that's not too bad.
Okay, that's a 7. So choose 2.
Definitely doesn't make a noise.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't take a very long time.
Okay.
I think the lock. To me, the lock is not that valuable.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I don't really care if I fix the lock again. So.
Mm-hmm. Great. So so you're able to sort of bust this open quickly and quietly, as Fawyt and Matthos are kind of.
So was the door just locked? It wasn't jammed or something?
It was locked. Yes.
No, I could have picked it. I'm a rogue.
From the inside.
Yeah, I could have picked it. I'm a rogue.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, so you bust this open, and it's as you can sort of pull these doors off. Yeah, it was like kind of barred or whatever from the inside. And you see like basically right on the steps here is a body. It is
Uh-oh.
a hathen-boren body with a handful of wounds on it that you can see. And as you look them over, based on sort of descriptions you were given, this is your contact. This is Brilliant Ill.
Oh shit. Okay. Do we see a radio on him?
A radio? Yeah, and there's a machine gun too, and a rocket launcher.
Oh, this became way easier.
Oh, the big dinner plate.
Yeah, so you go poking around. I say that a lot, don't I? You go looking around down in this area down here. And yeah, I mean, it's very much this kind of safe house type vibe. And sure enough, down in this area, you find I think there's a number of uh, like stashed items and stuff like that, blah blah. But you do find this this big plate. Like I said, I'm thinking like the size of a kind of a small desktop. So probably in the area of like, I don't know, like 3 feet by 4 feet or something.
Oh, you mean literal desk top?
Mm-hmm. Like the top of a desk. Yeah, mate. No. No, yeah, like the top of a desk. Like I said, sort of made out of some kind of like stone or metal, or whatever.
Great, so it's heavy.
It's big and heavy. Yes. And
Is there anything else here of value?
yeah, I mean that. I mean, I think that sounds like a discern reality is to sort of look for things that are not necessarily immediately out in the open, like a giant desktop would be. If anybody would like to do that.
Sounds like a Matthos roll to me.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Say I'll aid it because
Great.
What am I rolling?
Discern realities.
But that's wisdom, and that's bad. It's gonna be bad. Yeah.
Look at that. And
Let's get that
possibly make it to a 10?
aid from Fawyt.
Nice.
Great, there it is.
Yep.
Pushes it to a 10. Man, you guys are rolling really well.
Well, hey, I failed that one roll.
Wait, which one did you fail?
The cart pulling.
Oh, the cart pulling. Well, I mean, that was a partial success. It's not a failure. So, yeah, so you guys are poking around, as if I haven't said that enough. I think Matthos, you find on the body itself, you find what looks like a kind of basically a pen of some sort. And let's see, I'm gonna roll a die here for some potential.
explodes and kills you.
Explodes and kills you, and you all die. Let's do this. Okay. That's that. Someone roll 4d10 for me.
Oh no. D10, you say?
4d10, yes. Oh, everybody! Everybody!
Matthos is the first one.
Matthos was the first and the highest.
I was gonna say high number doesn't mean anything, so
Take 100 points of damage.
take the middle one.
So you also find basically 23 coins worth of sort of valuables and stuff here. So
I don't feel right taking that.
no. Okay.
Give it to Kintellistral. It was his agent after all.
I mean, yeah, you can do whatever you want with that. But that's what you find.
Matthos is not taking that.
What is anybody else doing anything with it, or? I mean, like I said, this is kind of like a sort of stash room. So this is, yeah. I mean, so
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like his house. It's just it's like a hideout, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did other agents? I mean, is this? What do they call themselves again?
The Bohemians.
The Bohemians. That's right. Is this like a place where? I mean, does it look like there were maybe multiple Bohemians use this area as a?
I don't know that there's any way to tell that.
Okay, I look at Fawyt. Wait for her to make a decision.
I mean, it's just a safe house. I don't really see any issues taking anything. Plus, I really don't like Kent, so yeah, fuck it. I'll take the 23 gold pieces, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not necessarily 23 gold or like coins or whatever. It's 23 worth of stuff. So there's probably a few coins, but like if maybe some like rings or valuables, that kind of stuff. So that'll be since it's not just coin, we'll call that one weight of worth of valuables, basically 23 coins worth. So you can.
And after you pick it all up, you glance over at Matthos, and he's just silently judging you from across the room.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't. It's not like.
Hey, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, I mean, good.
Yeah. Don't let Matthos, who crashed a ship into the entire Crafters Road, judge. Okay.
Didn't he kill orphans?
It was
right.
It was
That was what we decided?
very minute amount of the Crafters Road.
Trapped 40 people into a building.
That's not canon.
They said that the roof caved in on them.
It's not canon.
Okay, so how how are you getting this plate out?
Okay, are there like, I mean, he had to have carried it here somehow. Are there like straps?
Yeah, I think you can find that sort of thing around here.
I rig it up like a backpack, I guess. I don't know.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, and
really big square backpack.
And the I mean, yeah, I'm thinking like probably like slightly rectangular. But yeah. And the like the pen thing you found obviously goes to this as well. So I'm just assuming you guys bring that along. Fantastic.
I think, since you're now weighed down, you should probably start heading back.
Towards the ship?
Yeah, because we're probably going to need to move very quickly when this
Yeah.
goes boom.
I plod my way there.
Okay. Great. So Zahida is what kind of route are you taking here?
I definitely don't go this way. I can tell you that right now. I probably go. I mean, is there? I don't really know. Like, I mean, there's probably stairs or something like around here or something. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, there's
You want me
a
to take the long way around?
path up there. I mean, the way you kind of took originally, I'm guessing was sort of this kind of a route, basically. So.
Take the same way back, because now you know the path.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is safe.
Advantages.
Okay, I take it. And since I'm not, I was gonna say since I'm not lugging a cart. Wait. We still have the cart, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I probably leave the. I mean, unless does it weigh less than all of the barrels we had?
yeah, probably.
Okay.
And
Then
I mean,
just
you
carry
can't carry the whole thing, so.
Yeah.
Great. So, Zahida is making her way back. Fawyt and Matthos, I'm guessing you guys come back to Gentis-Jentish and the explosives here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's our play.
Yeah.
All right. And so you rig it up to light.
Yes.
Are you
Yeah.
ready
With
to
like a 10-minute fuse.
rock and roll here?
Is that a thing we can do?
Sure. I mean, I think it sounds like a roll, but I think it's a thing you can do.
You can certainly try.
Here's what I will say. This sounds like either one of you making a defy danger intelligence, or I think this is something that we could call in the purview of Gentis-Jentish's areas of expertise. So we can have someone for him make a do their thing roll, and you can aid that if you want.
Matthos, what's your intelligence?
Up to you guys.
+1.
Mine's +2. So.
The do their thing is plus quality, so he's a 2 quality, so it'd be a +2 as well.
It's not bad. I was gonna say maybe I could swing you on using tricks of the trade, but that's still gonna be plus more than I can get. So.
So you could aid with your int too. Can you aid with your int?
No, you aid with your bond.
Oh, that's right, your bond.
Yeah, let's do it.
What are we doing?
Having what's his face?
Okay.
Do it, and Fawyt can aid.
So someone do a so Matthos then. Why don't you do a 2d6 +2 for me? And then that is not going to help with an aid anyway.
God, that's a.
That is the worst possible roll. That is
genuinely the worst outcome.
Yeah.
Can you get zeros? Is that possible?
So here's how this goes. So Zahida, I think you're probably in kind of this area on your way back. Yeah, those are all better rolls.
That's unfortunate.
Well, to be fair, only 3 of them would actually help.
Well, the 6 would have been a 7.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
So the 3 of you are trying to kind of rig up this stuff here, and Gentis-Jentish looks like they are they do look like they're kind of in their element, that they sort of know what's going on. I think they're asking you questions to try and remember exactly what is in all of these barrels, as that's going to sort of determine some things about how they sort of exactly rig things up. So let me see. I think what happens is you
You explode and die.
you all explode and die. No, exactly. So I think what kind of goes on is that you're trying to sort of light up this kind of get this fuse going, and I think you're having difficulty finding something to make the fuse out of, because so much of stuff around this immediate area is like sort of burnt up, and that kind of thing, and so like you're trying to sort of find some rope or something, or so, something that you can get a fuse on, and the best thing you can come up with is this sort of like half burnt piece of rope and whatnot. And
is
what?
This the outcome where he like starts to not trust us a little bit?
That's entirely possible. Actually, I think that's a great idea.
I thought that was part of the actual like rules of this role.
Oh no, that's in terms of like decreasing their loyalty.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's
That's
a
if you do something and fail it, right?
well, that's most of that goes under if you're like getting them to do something that's like not their thing, basically.
Got it.
Dangerous,
Okay.
dangerous, degrading, or contrary to their instinct. Yeah, so it's not that they sort of the loyalty, but I think you're all kind of like running around in this confusion, and he's sort of like asking you to get things and whatever, and trying to sort of get this done quickly. But the way it sort of gets pieced together, you sort of light it up and start going, and like you get. I think you get about here, and it explodes. Whether it was something in the materials you gathered, or something in the way it was rigged up, or whether it was something in one of the barrels was more explosive or something than you thought it was, or whether something started leaking, or it was a rush. It was you were trying to
all of the above.
It was who even knows, but yeah, it's the kind of thing where you're walking away and all of a sudden this huge explosion, this big old like fireball, and I think there's at least a couple barrels that sort of end up almost like fireworks in a way. Like they get like hit by an initial explosion, then kind of like half like rocket out to one side and then blow up, and it's kind of a big mess. But you are here, and immediately you hear a good amount of commotion from Fortitude's tower, and then what you also hear is that they are not just coming from Fortitude's tower, because the commotion that happened a little earlier is that they were sending out a patrol of some sort. So the bulk of them are rushing in from Fortitude's tower, but there is also a group here in the Meadows district that you can tell are coming.
Book it.
And that is where we will wrap up for the night.
Son of a bitch.
You know, in hindsight, we probably could have just left them. We could have just left and probably gone back to Crafter's Row and tried to help those people out and left quietly.
I mean,
Maybe.
hindsight-
Can 45 people leave quietly?
Oh, that's big.
Well, I guess
Also-
we'll find out next time.
Next time
hindsight
on...
being 2020, like they probably would have been okay just hiding for another 2 days.
All right. So that's what's up. Let's do end of session stuff. Bonds. Anybody got any bonds?
I mean, yeah.
All right. Let's hear it.
I helped Iridia get sober.
We'll continue to help get sober, and you are making efforts towards that. So what does that turn into then?
I was just gonna get rid of it because Iridia is not part of the game anymore.
I mean, to be perfectly frank about it, she's basically turning into an NPC at this point.
Yeah.
So she'll
I don't want to bond with an
still
NPC.
being around. I mean, that's totally fine. If you want to do that and get rid of that, and then are you looking to write one with Zahida?
Yeah, that would be the plan.
Great. So what does that look like then?
I hadn't thought that far yet.
All right. We'll go ahead and mark the XP for the Iridia one, and think on what you want to do for Zahida. Zahida or Fawyt, any bonds?
No.
I don't think so either.
Okay. Alignments for anybody?
Defend those weaker than you. I mean, we didn't really do any defending.
No, but I mean, I feel like
tried
I
to help out those people as, you know.
yeah, I could hear that as a case. What does everybody else think?
I mean, we are sort of going way out of our way to like help them get away.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
I can't really argue that I denied anybody mercy, so.
Okay. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Sure, there's radios.
Yeah, that's and machine guns and rocket launchers.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's like the world's biggest smartphone.
With a stylus.
It even has a stylus.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'll give you that. That was something that you did not know about before that you do now.
Sweet.
So take an XP for that. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Not
No.
yet.
Nope.
Did we loot a memorable treasure?
Yes.
Fawyt did. No.
We have a tablet and a
You-
stylus.
you
right.
have an iPad. So, yeah, I'll count that. So that's another XP for
You
that.
know those giant like touchscreen drawing tables? It's like an entire
Yeah.
desktop. Those things
Yeah.
cost thousands of dollars. So
Uh-huh.
this thing
Yep.
is particularly priceless.
He did say that. Great. Let me put while we're here. What color should the marker for the civilians be?
Orange.
I don't have an orange. I have red and I have yellow. Could do yellow.
There you go.
Oh no. They're over here. Okay. All right, and that'll do it. Any questions or concerns? Anything else? Great. All right. Well, until next time then, this has been fun. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching.